Let's go the other way. Who do you hate?
So I hate, this was kind of a surprise. I think a lot of people had him starting.
Surprise yourself?
Who'd you say?
Surprise yourself?
Surprise myself. Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
No catches last week.
No catches
for the San Francisco 49ers.
I didn't think he had a target either. And Trent Sheffield had looked better than him last week, who I never heard of until Sunday.
Just heard of him now for the first time.
Sounds like a great guy.
Guy.
But until Brandon Aiyuk is playing the majority of the snaps, getting looks, especially from Jimmy G, who's going to target Kittle, obviously, and Debo apparently. I need to see way more from Brandon before I feel comfortable playing him.
So I agree 100%. And he was drafted relatively high, and I didn't fully understand it when I saw him there. He was one of those guys I'm not touching. But just the 49ers in general, again, off topic. How long does Jimmy G stay the starter?
Well, Trey Lance is 1-for-1 with a touchdown. Hard to beat those numbers. This is tricky because they are a playoff team
with him,
with Jimmy still.
Yeah.
So I say
they were a Super Bowl team with Jimmy.
Correct. And if they don't start to lose, I don't see them making a change.
I know.
I'm very conflicted on this because I do think Trey Lance gives them the best chance to win eventually. It's just, what do you call it, midway through the season? But what if they're 6-2? You gonna switch it up then?
I don't know how you can. I think you just do what they're doing, mix in some packages for him, let him get his feet wet. And then, Jimmy's been hurt a couple times over the last few years, I think. So right. It could just be a ticking time bomb too. But while we're on it, one of my do not starts is actually Eli Mitchell this week, which I picked up on the waiver wire, right? Running back for the San Francisco 49ers. Raheem Mostert killed me last week with his 2 carries. And then he's like, they said 8 weeks. He's like, no, I'm just going to get knee surgery. I'll take the whole year off. So thanks, Raheem. Cool. So one of the biggest ads on the waiver wire this week was Eli Mitchell, who stepped in last week and rushed for 100 yards and a touchdown after Mostert went down. I think it was 19 carries, 140 yards. And
he looked good.
And Trey Sermon was a healthy scratch last week. So here's my reason for a sit is I did like the performance that Mitchell put on, especially in his first game. He was a 6th-round pick, but Sermon wasn't in, right? Sermon's going to be suited up this week. And I heard rumors last week that he got healthy scratch because he was at a strip club the night before. Unconfirmed. Telling you what my
cannot confirm. We're not journalists.
Just telling you. No, we are not. I'm just telling you what my sources told me. And that honestly, something like that has to make sense because it was not on anyone's radar that man was going to be sitting or scratched rather.
Yeah. Again, Shanahan's, even back to his dad, Mike, they love to just take obscure running backs and have him run for 1,000 yards no matter what. So I don't feel, I obviously I'm in wait and see mode with that backfield.
That's how I feel too. That's why he's a sit for me.
Yeah. And obviously Sermon's going to get top billing because they took, I think, a 3rd-round pick with him. So they're going to give him opportunities. So I feel comfortable staying away no matter what. But again, they could still win. And it's okay, Elijah Mitchell this week, Jermichael Hasty this week, Trey Sermon this week, and it's going to drive fantasy owners nuts.
Exactly. And that's exactly why I have him at that point. I think he's a great stash. I think he's a great add to a bench because whoever ends up getting a majority of the touches in that backfield, plug and play, is going to be an RB1.
Mm-hmm. They're great running offense.
Yeah. So that's why I'm avoiding him this week, but definitely keeping an eye on him. I'm not out on him by any means this season.
Definitely.
All right, who you killing?
So speaking of injuries, I am killing Terry McLaurin. Actually,
Scary Terry?
We're playing tonight, actually. And it has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with Taylor Heineke.
Not a Heineke fan, huh?
I'm not. I'm a FitzMagic fan. So when he broke his hip like the 40-year-old man he is, I was pretty bummed out. I'm not expecting a lot of Taylor Heineke. Shocking. No? So, and obviously Terry's, production will suffer because of that. Expect a lot of Antonio Gibson tonight. They're going to probably want to run the ball, get their defense back on track because the Herbert-led Chargers kind of tore him up a bit. But I think against Daniel Jones, the Giants, they'll be better.
Well, that's the thing. It's the Giants, and the Giants are going to be a bottom 6 team in football.
That's safe to say. Yeah.
Right. I mean, in the worst division too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I don't hate Taylor Heineke. I think as a backup, like he's one of those guys that can come in and he can win you a game. He did it last week. Or no, they ended up losing.
No, yeah.
But
not him. But he
the
could.
offense wasn't moving until he came in. He scrambles around. He's kind of like your generic high school quarterback is what he looks like.
Which is my concern in the pros.
True. But point being is, I don't know. I feel like he manages the game okay. I thought he played admirably in that playoff game last year.
He did against the Bucks. Yes.
Right.
I'm not expecting that to be consistent.
No, but what I'm saying is we know how bad backup quarterbacks are in this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's fine.
Right. For me, he's fine. He's serviceable. That defense is awesome. Fitzmagic, I think he's out through week 8.
Right.
So I mean, if they can stay at 4-4, 5-3, like,
yeah, no, definitely. But the way to do that
starts tonight
is to give it to Antonio Gibson and then play great defense with your pass.
No, I agree, 100%. Antonio, they need to control the ball. Antonio Gibson too. High expectations for him coming into this year.
Yes, yeah. So I'm expecting to see a lot more touches, maybe more production out of him tonight, but not much.
So
else.
Circling back to Scary Terry, it's strictly because of Heineke.
Yeah, right.
There's Terry's not like a matchup that scares you or anything. It's just
the Giants defense is fine, but not not world beaters or anything.
No, for sure. All right.
Who do you have?
Robbie Anderson, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. They're playing against New Orleans, who again just shut down Green Bay, shut down Devontae Adams, shut down MVS. They had everyone. They had Aaron Rodgers shut down. That defense, I'm telling you, and the way Jameis Winston looks right, or at least looked week 1, that defense alone could take them to the playoffs. It really didn't matter who the quarterback was.
Are they a legit threat to the Bucs to win the division?
I think they are.
Ooh.
I mean, that division's obviously going to come down to 2 games.
Yeah.
When they play each other, at each of their respective stadiums.
You're not worried about the Falcons or the Panthers. That's the other team.
No, not worried about either of those 2 teams. But Robbie Anderson, he had 1 catch last week, and it was like for 50-something yards and a TD. But he's their number 1. And Sam Darnold is also with a new team. They're just trying to feed Christian McCaffrey. Let's be honest, right?
Well, DJ Moore too. I mean, between the 2 of them, they're probably 1A, 1B, however you want to sort it out.
Yeah, but he is listed as number 1. Robbie is listed on the official team site as the number 1.
And everyone's like trying to pick up McCaffrey scraps.
Yeah, I mean that's
they're going to give him the ball the majority of the time.
He looked so good last week too.
Yeah,
and he killed me last year.
He's going to play all 17 this year. Watch.
100%.
No doubt.
He's missed 1 game his whole life until last year. And then he just decided to miss like all of
them. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Robbie Anderson. Honestly, probably DJ Moore. I think I'm just fading wide receivers for Carolina this week because, again, that New Orleans defense was just outstanding last week.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Rodgers looked terrible. I never seen him play that bad.
He did skip OTAs and he didn't play any preseason games. So, like,
hates his family.
And his family hates him.
So
I'm going to Green Bay tomorrow.
Oh, for a wedding, right?
Yeah.
Fun.
I just hope I don't burn as I roll into the city.
Yeah.
Or burn the city down as I roll in.
Don't do that.
No. To all our Green Bay fans, I'm sorry.
The one guy who watches is yelling at his screen right now.
All right, who you got? Last one.
Yeah, speaking of Bears rivals, I am sitting Kirk Cousins.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, they did not look great against the Bengals. His numbers, though, were like if you just looked at the box score, I think he's still threw for 300 yards. So, like, it looks okay. But they play the Cardinals, and Chandler Jones alone had 5 sacks on Tannehill.
Yeah.
So, and that Vikings O-line is kind of a work in progress themselves. So I'm worried about Kirk's health.
No, I completely agree. I was almost fading Adam Thielen actually for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Who actually looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, and I think Cook played like probably not his best or anything, but like he's fine. So maybe we'll see more of them. But yeah, I'm worried that Arizona's defense looked good. I don't know if that was just against the Titans or what.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing about a small sample size of
one game.
Anything could literally infinite, outcomes. So no, I like that. I like that pick. For me, I'm benching Mark Ingram against Cleveland. The same Mark Ingram that had 26 carries last week. 26 carries.
That was a shock to me
because he's like 40.
And they have Philip Lindsay and David Johnson on the roster.
Right. Like Lindsay's 24. Give Ingram a break.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, but anyways, that was strictly game flow dependent. They were playing against the Jags
and winning.
Who, again, are going to be the worst team in football, even with Trevor Lawrence. They're still going to suck, at least in the short term. But Mark Ingram, again, Cleveland has a great D line too.
Yes.
And Ingram averaged I think he was like on the 26 touches, he finished with like 85 yards.
Right.
You're my accountant, but I'm pretty sure that's like
less than 4
3.5 yards a carry on a pretty large sample size.
Yeah.
So for me, I know Mark Ingram was a pretty big pickup this week. A lot of people, and I get it with that volume alone.
Yeah.
So he's not a bad bench stash just to see what happens, but my gut says you're going to be able to use him a limited amount this year because Houston's going to be getting rocked by most teams out there.
Right. And you're probably not only going to use him like on when you have bye weeks for guys and like.
Right. Like you're desperate because half the running backs just died in the league.
Exactly.
Which happens by like week 7.
So as long as you have someone getting 20 touches a game, you're in good shape then.
Oh, I love volume. I'm a big volume guy.
Yeah.
I get it. So, but I am fading him this week against, again, a great Cleveland front.
Yes.